Hello, thanks for coming to listen to presentation. So we're in West Africa in Côte d'Ivoire. There's a disclaimer. So what I'm going to be talking about is our recent 868,000 ounce resource, how it only covers a very small part of the 13% of the shear that we have on the project, how we're going to grow it, and we're a team with a pretty good pedigree. We've made 5 discoveries in that part of the world, and why we're in that part of the world in the first place. So first, our corporate slide. You can see we've got 28% institutional shareholders, some very nice names in there, Deutsche Balaton, which is Sparta, Delphi, Dundee, we have 1832, Sprott, a whole bunch of others, and a few out of Hong Kong and Australia, of course. You can see Perseus has got just under 30% of us, 3% of us, and that's because we just consolidated a deal with them that about the ownership. I'll talk about that in a bit more detail. And our top 20 own 50% of the register, so not too much danger of an early unsolicited takeover. So our board, very strong, and management, very strong West African experience. Our director, Makeli Musillo, corporate lawyer with Dundee, with Hopgood Gannon in Brisbane and in Perth. He was on the board of Orbis, was on the board of Cardinal Resources, both very good takeovers. So he's a good guy to have in our corner if that's a path we choose. And our other director, Steve Zaninovich, an engineer who did the feasibility for Griffin's and Teranga's Wagnon deposit in Côte d'Ivoire. And husband-wife team, geologist, Anne and I, and our Ibrahim, our operations manager, were the original founders of the company. And we have our Abou Kahir, our chief geologist. So both those guys have been with us since the Orbis days, where we made 3 discoveries. So we've been working together about 12 years now. You can see why we're in West Africa. 400,000 ounces, million ounces of gold discovered, 70 gold deposits over 1 million ounce, and 40 of those over 3 million ounces. So definitely elephant country. Côte d'Ivoire, very supportive country. You see it's quite modern. We don't think, the whole jihadist activity that's going on elsewhere, we don't think it's going to go there because they're well-financed and their military and police force is well-financed, and the vegetation's a bit thicker as well. So very good place to work, and hydroelectric power. So, and we actually have a hydro line on our permit along with the bitumen road. You can see our 2 permits there, 2 projects, Napié, where we have our resource, and Korhogo, which is along that fault that you see that goes all the way up to Wagnon's mine, which our director did the feasibility on. So that's why we pegged that ground. And we now have 90% ownership of our flagship project, hence why Perseus has 3% of our shares. So our maiden resource on Napié, 868,000 ounces, 1.2 grams per ton, which in that part of the world works very well. You just need to add a few more ounces, and we think we're ready to go. I was talking about the 2 resources are Tchaga, 545,000 ounces, and Gogbala, 323,000 ounces. Together, they constitute only 13% of that 30-kilometer shear with that 23-kilometer long soil anomaly that you see in orange. So if you see I'll talk about that a little bit, the grade increases at depth. You can see below 150 meters, the grade gets better. But we have, right now, we're going for the low-hanging fruit, the shallow drilling that will add ounces quickly. And then we'll worry about drilling at depth a little bit later. So you can see the resources on that shear. Again, the shear is shown in red there. You can see that 4.5 kilometers between Tchaga and Gogbala, that obviously a good target. We've done some drilling there, not enough to include it in the resource. And also you can see how shallow the resources are. The average depth of recent resources, West Africa, is about 300 meters. At Gogbala, we're down to only 160 meters, and at Tchaga, 190 meters. You can see at Tchaga, we've done a bit of deeper drilling with good results, including one hole that was at 19 meters at 4 grams that wasn't included in the resource. So what are we doing now? We're going back to the basics, and basically we're just started a 25,000 meter auger program using 5 auger rigs. We announced that yesterday. And the idea of that is the first thing we'll do is we'll go over the resources that you can see in green here. We'll run the rigs over that so we know what that footprint looks like. And then once we know that, then we're going to do the other grids that you see in red and complete the previous auger drilling that Perseus had done with some nice trends on there. So the object of that is at the end of that program, we'll be able to tell people, look, we've got the footprint of 500,000 ounce here, 500,000 ounce here, and so on. And so the idea that I've been talking about, presenting about potential 2, 3, 4 million ounces on the project is a little bit more concrete. So this is Gogbala, and that's got some beautiful targets. You can see in target A, that ellipse, where you can see 6 meters at 5 grams per ton. That was half a dozen drill holes that we did just before the wet season, and that added about 20,000 ounces to the resource. The rest of that 4.5 kilometers doesn't have one drill hole in it. So now you can understand why we want to do the auger drilling. You can see the soil anomaly there shown in yellow. It's about 500 meters wide. The auger should narrow that down, and then once we get those narrowed down, that means that we'll have to do less RC drilling to get the resource. It'll be a lot more cost effective. On the northern prospect, Komboro, when we stopped the drilling for the resource, we sent our geos up there to do that mapping, and they discovered a 9-kilometer artisanal mining site. You can see a photo of it. So we quickly put 23 drill holes in 7 targets. 6 of the 7 hit gold. You can see 9 meters at 3.2. 6 grams per ton was one intercept in that same drill hole, a different intercept. It's not an include, 1 meter at 30 gram. And we had done a little bit of air core drilling earlier in the year. So that's a huge target, about 9 kilometers by 9 kilometers. So the the auger drilling will narrow down those targets so that we can hopefully outline the footprint of 500,000 ounces or more on that target. Very much the same story on Tchaga North, where we have a huge, you can see the soil anomaly is 2 kilometers wide there. So the auger drilling is going to help us narrow that down. And 8 meters at 8.5 grams per ton, that was a discovery drill hole in 2018. Basically, I've done nothing on there since then, except earlier this year, we did some air core drilling, had 4 meters at 100 plus grams per ton. So very exciting. We know there's gold in all those prospects. And basically, now we got to narrow down those targets so we can start resource drilling again, one at a time. And basically grow the resource 500,000 ounces at a time, every time we get a footprint. We did the preliminary metallurgy, simple bottle rolls. That was both oxide and fresh rock, came back 94%, so very encouraging. We'll be doing some more metallurgical tests this year. I'll quickly talk about our Korhogo project. You can see we've done auger, and before that we did some soils and airborne radiometrics. And you can see that beautiful auger anomaly that's about 5 kilometers long, same size as Barrick's 5 million ounce Tongan mine. Not saying we got 5 million ounces, but we have a pretty nice anomaly on there. So there's some work to be done there, and then we'll be mapping those greenstone granite contacts, both there and at Napié. So ESG, we've always believed in it. So we drilled a water well for the community. We fixed up the roads with our bulldozer. Out of our gender diversity, out of our 9 young geologists, we have 4 females there. We do everything right. We have a community liaison officer full-time that you can see in the right-hand corner. And we promote local events. That's our team when Ann and I and our database geologists were there earlier this year. That's about half our team, actually. 100% West African, so the administration really likes us. So simple path to growth, 868,000 ounces right now. We're auger drilling to get those footprints, then we'll follow that up with RC diamond drilling, do some metallurgy, and the goal is to get 3-4 million ounces within the next couple of years or so. Thank you.